Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Devedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Which of the following countries are included in OPEC Plus? Mexico, Malaysia, Russia, Sudan. We have to select the correct answer from the codes given below. All of these are a part of the OPEC Plus, so the correct answer is option D. China, the world's largest crude importer, was non-committal about its intentions to release oil from its reserves on a request from the United States. Washington's move raised speculation that the OPEC Plus might consider pausing its current agreement to boost output by 4 lakh barrels per day every month. But the group is not considering that. The non-OPEC countries which export crude oil are termed as OPEC Plus. OPEC Plus countries include Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brunei, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, Russia, South Sudan and Sudan. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements. BRICS is an informal grouping of the world's leading emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. And the BRICS forum is chaired by Brazil. We have to select the correct statement. Both these statements, if we talk about the second one and the first one, both are incorrect. Why? Because BRICS is a formal grouping. It was formalized in the year 2006, and the chairmanship of the BRICS, it keeps on rotating according to the acronym. So sometimes it might be held by Brazil, after that it's Russia, India, China and South Africa. So the correct answer is option D. Recently, the Science and Technology Minister called for working towards a rightful place for BRICS in the Global Innovation Index. BRICS is an acronym for the grouping of the world's leading emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, and it was coined by the British economist Jim O'Neill in the year 2001. The term BRIC, according to him, was to describe the 4 emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India and China. The grouping was formalized during the first meeting of BRIC foreign ministers in 2006, and South Africa was invited later on to join BRIC in December 2010, after which the group adopted the acronym BRICS. The BRICS brings together 5 of the largest developing countries of the world, representing 41% of the global population, 24% of the global GDP, and 16% of the global trade. The chairmanship of the forum is rotated annually among the members in accordance to the acronym of BRICS. Moving on. Consider the following statements with reference to the digital service tax. It aims to tax revenues generated by multinationals like Google, Amazon and Apple for providing certain digital services. There is no legal provision for taxing digital services in India. So we have to select the correct statement. The first one is correct, second one is not. So the correct answer to this question is option A, that is one only. Recently, India and the US have agreed for a transitional approach on equalization of levy or digital tax on e-commerce suppliers beginning from 1st April 2022. Digital service taxes are the adopted taxes on revenues that certain companies generate from providing certain digital services. Example, digital multinationals like Google, Amazon and Apple. Also, the OECD is currently hosting negotiations with over 130 countries that aim to adapt the international tax system. One goal is to address the tax challenges of the digitization of the economy. India's tax on digital companies, the government had moved an amendment in the Finance Bill of 2020-21 imposing a 2% digital service tax on trade and services by non-resident e-commerce operators with a turnover of over rupees 2 crore. Moving on. With reference to microwave weapons, consider the following statements. They are capable of affecting both machines and human beings. China is the only country to display a prototype of microwave weapon. So we have to select the correct statement. First one is correct, but second is not. Along with China, US is also one of the countries to display a prototype of microwave weapons among others. So the correct answer is option A, that is one only. Direct energy weapon. They are a type of direct energy weapons which aim highly focused energy in the form of sonic, laser or microwaves at a target. They release electromagnetic radiation which cause sensations in the human body, and a number of countries are thought to have developed these weapons to target both humans and electronic systems. China had first put on display its microwave weapon called Poly-WB1 at an air show in 2014. The US has also developed a prototype microwave-style weapon which it calls the active denial system, which is the first non-lethal directed energy counter-personnel system with an extended range greater than the currently fielded non-lethal weapons. Moving on. Recently, the DRDO has also announced its plan to develop direct energy weapons and using high energy lasers and microwaves that will be. These weapons are a cause of concern as they can affect both machine and human beings, and also they are capable of causing long-term damages without leaving a single mark on the human body. Consider the following statements. Technical textiles are functional fabrics that have applications across various industries. The government has approved 100% FDI under automatic route in the technical textile sector. The entities engaged in manufacturing technical textile products are offered support under the amended Technology Upgradation Fund scheme. So we have to select the correct statement. All the three statements are definitely correct. The correct answer is option D. Moving on to the explanation. Technical textiles are functional fabrics that have applications across various industries including automobiles, civil engineering and construction, agriculture, healthcare, industrial safety, personnel protection. The growth of technical textiles in India has gained momentum in the past 5 years, currently growing at an 8% per annum. It is aimed to hasten this growth to 15 to 20% reach during the next 5 years. The current world market is US dollars $250 billion and India's share in it is USD 19 billion. India is an aspiring player with USD 40 billion in this market, and the biggest players are the US, Western Europe, China and Japan. The government of India allows 100% FDI under automatic route. International technical textile manufacturers such as Alstom, Johnson & Johnson have already initiated operations in India. Objective is to improve exports and indirectly promote investment in textile machinery. Under amended Technology Upgradation Fund scheme, technology upgradation and CIS are offered to entities that are engaged in manufacturing textile and technical textile products under the guidance of TAMC, that is Technical Advisory Monitoring Committee. Moving on. Consider the following statements. India is one of the highly earthquake-affected countries because of the presence of technically active young fold mountains, that is the Himalayas of course, and the Bureau of Indian Standards has grouped India into 4 seismic zones. We have to select the correct statement. Both of them are correct. The correct answer is option C. India is one of the highly earthquake-affected countries because of the presence of technically active young fold mountains, Himalaya. India has been divided into 4 seismic zones, 2, 3, 4 and 5 based on scientific inputs relating to seismicity, earthquakes that occurred in the past and tectonic setup of the region. Previously, earthquake zones were divided into 5 zones with respect to the severity of the earthquakes, but the Bureau of Indian Standards grouped the country into 4 seismic zones by unifying the first 2 zones. BIS is the official agency for publishing the seismic hazard map and codes. Moving on. Consider the following statements with respect to World Trade Organization. India is a founder member of the 1947 GATT and its successor, the WTO. The most outstanding feature of WTO negotiation is that there is a clear definition of what constitutes a developed or developing countries at the WTO. So we have to select the correct statement. The first statement is definitely correct. Second is not, because this is one of the problems of WTO, that it doesn't have a clear-cut definition about what is a developed and what is a underdeveloped or developing country. So the correct answer is option A. Foreign ministers of India, Russia and China have reaffirmed their support for a transparent, open, inclusive and non-discriminatory multilateral trading system with the World Trade Organization, WTO, at its core. The World Trade Organization is the successor to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, which was created in the year 1947. The Uruguay Round 1986-94 of the GATT led to the WTO's creation. WTO began its operation on 1st of January 1995 and it is an international organization dealing with the rules of trade between different nations. It is headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland, and India is a founder member of the 1947 GATT and its successor, the WTO. There is a problem in WTO negotiations as there is no agreed definition of what constitutes a developed or developing country at WTO. Members can currently self-designate as developing countries to receive special and differential treatment, a practice that is the subject of much contention. Moving on. Consider the following statements with respect to Indo-Russian relations. The declaration on the India-Russia Strategic Partnership was done in October 2010. The Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty of 1971 supplied the framework to deepen the cooperation. Military technical cooperation has indeed been at the center of this bilateral relation. So we have to select the statement which is or are not correct. So first is not correct because the declaration was done in 2000. The second one is correct. The correct answer to this question, as we had to select the not correct one, is option A, that is one only. Russian President Vladimir Putin will arrive in India on an official visit on 6th December for the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India-Russia diplomatic relations are now 70 years old. A key pillar of India's foreign policy has been the cultivation of relations with Russia. The substantive relationship was cemented when the two countries signed the declaration on the India-Russia Strategic Partnership in October 2000. In December 2010, the strategic partnership was elevated to the level of a special and privileged strategic partnership. The Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty of 1971 supplied the framework to deepen the cooperation. Military technical cooperation has indeed been at the center of this bilateral relation. So, now we move on to the next question. Consider the following statements with respect to the Global Innovation Index. The GII is launched by the Sustainable Solution Development Framework. The Republic of Korea joins the top 5 of the GII for the first time in 2021. India has climbed 2 spots and has been ranked 46th in the Global Innovation Index 2021 ranking. So we have to select the correct statement. The first is incorrect because the Global Innovation Index is launched by the World Intellectual Property Organization. Second and third are definitely correct. The correct answer to this question should be option 2 and 3, that is option B. Science and Technology Minister has said that BRICS countries must come together and innovate cost-effective, affordable, accessible, sustainable and scalable scientific solutions as they face many similar and unique challenges. He called for the working towards rightful place for BRICS in the Global Innovation Index. If we talk about GII, it is launched by World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a specialized agency of the UN. It is published in partnership with the Portulans Institute and other corporate partners, and the Brazilian National Confederation of Industry, Confederation of Indian Industry, Ecopetrol and Turkic Exporters Assemblies are part of it. Also, top 5 in the Innovation Index of 2021. Switzerland is there, Sweden, US and UK. They are continuing to lead the innovation ranking and have all ranked in the top 5 in the past 3 years. The Republic of Korea joins the top 5 for the GII for the first time in 2021. And India has also climbed 2 spots and has been ranked 46th in the GII of 2021. Moving on. Omicron, recently seen in the news, refers to which of the following? It refers to a new variant of COVID-19 virus. Option C is correct. The World Health Organization has declared a new coronavirus variant to be of concern and named it Omicron. The WHO has said that the number of cases of this variant, initially named B.1.1.529, appeared to be increasing in almost all of the South African provinces. It was first reported to the WHO from South Africa on 24th of November and has also been identified in Botswana, Belgium, Hong Kong and Israel. Yato Dharmastatu Jaya is the motto of which of the following institutions or bodies? The correct answer to this question is option B, the Supreme Court of India. On the National Law Day, Constitution Day, Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana, stressed on the need to launch a massive drive to make citizens aware of the constitutional rights and duties. He said, Constitution made accountability a main feature of the legislature and executive. The Indian Constitution under Article 124, Clause 1 states that there shall be a Supreme Court of India, and the Constitution of 1950 envisaged Supreme Court with 1 Chief Justice and 7 judges, and the number of SC judges was increased by the Parliament, and currently there are 34 judges including the CJI. Motto, Yato Dharmastato Jaya. That means where there is dharma, there will be victory. It is known as the guardian of our Constitution, the Supreme Court, and the Indian Constitution provides for a provision of the Supreme Court under Part 5 and Chapter 4 titled the Union Judiciary. Moving on to the practice question. Parliamentary privileges are enjoyed by which of the following? Members of the Lok Sabha, members of Rajya Sabha, President of India, Attorney General of India, committees of the Parliament houses. So we have to select the correct answer using the codes. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.